How's it going, everybody? I hope you're all doing well. Okay, so The Hunger Artist is a short story written by one of the greatest writers of the 20th century, Franz Kafka. It was published in 1922. So what's it all about? Well, here's a very quick summary. So the protagonist, he's an emaciated performer whose complete identity revolves around his ability to fast for long periods of time. And he does this while being locked inside a cage while spectators observe his decline. He starts off by being a bit of an attraction, but he gradually falls out of fashion. The public grows bored of his act, and eventually he's replaced by a panther. A panther that's vigorous and full of life, and, well, essentially everything the hunger artist is not. The hunger artist dies anonymously, buried under straw. Okay, so what's the deal here? What's Kafka trying to say? Well, as it always is with Kafka, the story is vague and cryptic enough to be suggesting many things. So let me run through a few possible interpretations and let me try to relate it to our own concern today. Okay, well, so first of all, and in the broadest sense, The Hunger Artist might be a story about the collapse of important or transcendent values in modernity and their communication through art. I mean, after all, when it comes to modernity, real meaningful purpose and religion and beauty, they no longer hold much sway. So what the spectators in the story want is pure entertainment, not insight. Kafka's artist hungers to communicate meaning, but all he gets reflected back to him is the spectacle that they see. This is why he eventually gets replaced with a panther. It's because the panther, being wild and muscular, represents enjoyment and thrill and immediacy. This is the full spectacle. This is what the crowd really wants. Nothing too long or demanding, and heavens forbid, nothing too meaningful. Now, if Kafka has something like this in mind, then he certainly anticipates what we often see going on in our age today. That's to say, the trend today is clearly the replacement of deep, slow, and difficult art with easy spectacle, isn't it? In other words, in our attention economy, art must be immediate and arresting and continuously refreshed, right? What usually fails to trend is anything to do with depth and time and ambiguity and nuance. I mean, we can certainly see this in how streaming services and music platforms and social media now operate. I mean, I think one could argue that by and large, the artist's task here isn't just to make art. No, it's to grab and to hold attention and to go viral. So this is why we get short form video and flashy visuals. Essentially, what we're getting is something like clickbait aesthetics. So given this environment, what on earth happens to artists who starve for something deeper, for something not calculated for instant consumption? What happens to artists who take their time and who work in nuance and who create for depth rather than for dopamine? Well, not surprisingly, of course, they usually just get dismissed or they're replaced. Now, this gets back to the panther in the story. Like I said, Kafka's hunger artist was replaced by a panther. Now, why? Well, because it's immediately satisfying to the crowd. It's loud, it's self-evident, and it doesn't demand interpretation or understanding. Basically, it represents exactly what the marketplace wants. It wants simplicity and spectacle and immediate exhaustibility. Okay, if something like this is right, then Kafka's story is pretty prophetic. Because then what the hunger artist really is anyone struggling to make difficult or uncompromising work in a space where most platforms are built for scrolling and in a culture that rewards and monetizes surface understanding and speed. And the panther here, well, it's equivalent to the viral meme or to the new swipe. The world then doesn't punish the hunger artist. No, it just gets bored and turns away. It simply doesn't care. Now that's what's so chilling about Kafka's story. What's chilling is this indifference to the artist's sincerity and their sacrifice and their suffering. What Kafka's story shows us is the largely unrecognized tragedy of pouring one's soul into a world that yawns and scrolls and then passes right on by. Bye for now.